With that, the Detroit City Council and state officials created a brand new form of government. The council approved the new board and project manager that can override budget decisions made by
I did not move yet.
the council, designed to preserve some municipal control while giving the state much more oversight concerning fiscal matters. The city is in a financial crisis. It has recently borrowed $140 million to meet payroll and has more than $12 billion in long-term debt. Though he voted for the consent agreement, Council President Charles Pugh says the city needs more than stricter oversight. It needs an infusion of cash from the state to help enact new reforms.
You've got to help us out. You can't just say, do this yourselves, knowing we don't have any money, and knowing we have this crushing debt load.
Negotiations over the agreement took weeks and often proved to be delicate, as some Detroiters raised the issue of racism. Mostly white state officials taking control of a city with a majority black population. But Governor Rick Snyder continually stressed the deal is not a takeover. He argued that Detroit has to restructure its operations to save money.
So this is not a new problem we've been facing with financial distress in the city. One that's been going on for decades. And I believe now this is the opportunity to say we're going to be part of the solution.
The agreement does not please city unions, however, who stand to lose members and benefits as Detroit makes new budget cuts. Unions unsuccessfully tried to gain a temporary restraining order against the agreement. Now, union negotiator Ed McNeil says his members may stage an illegal walkout because many of them feel they have nothing left to lose.
At some point, people get fed up. And so they take whatever measures that they need to at that point to let people know that they're at the end of their work.
Yet Council President Pugh says Detroit has no choice but
just moved.
We're going to have to do more cutting.
You did it two
That's
in a
the
row.
reality. We're going to have to think outside the box.
Yeah, I got that.
Deliver basic services privately. Some cities
Except
in
you guys.
Detroit may eventually have no choice but to explore Chapter 9 bankruptcy. But under current law, that would require appointing an emergency manager over the city, which the consent agreement, just signed by state and city officials, is designed to avoid. For NPR News, I'm Quentin Feinfelder in Detroit.
We learned several days ago, thanks to an ACLU Freedom of Information Act suit, that local law enforcement was often tracking cell phones without court orders to do so. The New York Times, which looked at documents that the ACLU received, reported that cell phone tracking has become widespread and that it's also big business for cell phone companies. Well, now, Forbes magazine technology reporter Andy Greenberg...
Hey, no, I didn't move yet.
How much does a cell phone company charge for records of your cell phone's whereabouts? Well, Andy Greenberg joins us.
I didn't move yet. I was fixing it.
And how much do they charge?
Well, what's interesting is just how varied and different these bills to law enforcement for data interception and wiretapping are. It's really just as complex as it is for you and I to pay our cell phone bill. There's a fee to intercept voice, so there's an extra fee for text messages and voicemail, for instance. So T-Mobile, for instance, charges a flat fee of $500 per target, and AT&T charges $325 activation fee plus just $5 per day for data and $10 for audio sales. Quite a lot of that's when we pay our monthly bills.
Yeah, reach out and tap someone and you'll sound right back up.
If the cell phone company actually has a stated policy that it won't sell its customers' information to anyone, are they breaking that policy? If they have this whole schedule of fees?
Except your guys will get it.
Court order mandated surveillance?
Well, that's what's strange about the responses that I got from phone carriers. AT&T specifically pointed me towards the privacy policy when I asked about this, and highlighted one sentence that says, "We do not sell your information to anyone, period." And when I brought this up to the ACLU, they said that's clearly misleading. I mean, what is the definition of sell? These companies are, in fact, handing over your data to a third party, law enforcement in this case.
Cannot just switch on to these phones. Oh yeah, you're staying there?
It sounds quite a lot like it to me.
Did AT&T tell you how they reconcile what they're doing with their policy?
God, do that!
AT&T was one of the most closed-mouth companies that I asked about this. Sprint and Verizon both have slightly more detailed responses. Sprint, for instance, wanted to point out that it doesn't profit from this, but it does feel like it's legally required to comply.
Now, so far as you know and what you've gleaned from the ACLU, are we talking about a handful of terror suspects, serial murderers, kidnappers, or is this relatively widespread concerning lots of criminal suspects?
I think the vast majority of wiretapping are about drugs, the war on drugs. If you look at the last 10 years, there's been this vast increase in wiretapping, which are all reported. These are the ones that are player ones, and that's documented in the reports submitted every year.
As you understand it, if the cell phone carrier lets you say, no, you need a court order to do that, would law enforcement then just go to court and get watched?
That's my understanding. But there are different kinds of behavior. There are straightforward wiretaps, for which law enforcement does seem to need a warrant. But then there are things like pen registers and trap and trace, which simply look at the call logs, the numbers that someone is calling, who's calling them. Then there are things like text messages, and then perhaps the creepiest of all is location tracking. And for location tracking, there is no legal mandate for a warrant as yet.
What exactly is a tower dump, whether that's a term of art?
That's something that I first learned about the Spoyer effect from the ACLU, and it's been described to me as a record of every call.
Yeah, you think you're so cool, you know how to play chess?
Regardless of whether they're suspect in a criminal investigation or not.
Is that what you said, Olivia?
This fee schedule that you were told about, this is only for law enforcement, even without a warrant?
See, you beat my strategy.
Would the local daily newspaper or local TV newsroom decide that it wants to buy a tower dump or to track a particular show? I really hope that's not the case. That would be an enormous privacy.
You can't do that!
From these documents about these were very, I got this billing specifically from the Illinois Police Department, and they're referring to this
figure it out, an L.
Not something that, Rupert Murdoch can call up Sprint and get thousands of people's phone records.
Well, thanks for talking.
Where were you?
Thanks so much. It's the technology reporter, Andy of Fortune.
Fine with me. Purple.
This is NPR News.
You have to be here.
Support for NPR comes from NPR member stations and from Ann and John Furman, supporting the Children's Radio Foundation, giving voice to African youth through community radio.
Can't do that.
Children's Radio Foundation.
Okay, that's just an overly sized L.
Supporting libraries with electronic resource discovery and management solutions, journals.
Hey, fine, keep it. You're gonna lose anyway.
Databases.
It's gonna be in check
From
any
the
second.
Wallace Foundation, a source of ideas for improving education and enrichment for children
She's
both in and out of school.
Hey,
at
that's not...
wallacefoundation.org. This is
I'm not gonna be able to do that.
Good evening. You're listening to All Things Considered on GTV. Tonight at 9 on GTV TV, see the family histories of Barbara Walters and Jeffrey Canada in Children's Zone on Find Their Roots with Henry Louis Gates Jr. The search is hindered by a name change that occurred in Walters' family past, and Canada not knowing the name of his grandfather. That's tonight at 9 on GTV TV. Sure, the economy is getting a little better, but the question remains,
White is the wind.
Cities with the best employment prospects next time on Marketplace. You can hear Marketplace.
Can't do that, you'd be here.
6:30.
You're right here.
Forecast tonight, a chance of rain continues with a chance of severe thunderstorms diminishing as the night goes on. Low temperatures in the low to mid-50s north of I-20 and the mid-70s.
That would be a fun.
Friday, partly cloudy skies with rain showers coming out of the state by the afternoon. High temperatures in the mid to upper 60s from I-20 north and low 70s south I-20.
Go.
You're listening to GTV.
Excuse me, I'll block that out. You would be...
Marketplace is produced in association with the University of Southern California. In Washington, D.C., President Obama signs the Jobs Act. In China, he's going to find an iPad factory from production line to plumbing pool.
You can't do that. Yes, I can. I'm the winner. That's not true.